Hey all, hello and welcome, Tony Bing here. So in the last few days in Marvel Heroes we've seen some changes to the Marvelous loot boxes, seen some big changes in fact. Now there's been a whole lot of questions on the forum and there has been a lot of confusion, which is understandable. The initial message was not the clearest. Since then there's been a lot of additional information that's been given, which has thankfully made the message a lot clearer, but with that I can see that a lot of players are still confused as to what's going to happen on the 30th for costumes and what's going to happen with these boxes. Now as a result of that I did contact the developers for a bit more information just to find out various things, because one of the questions that came up was about the seeding of boxes, and if you open a box or you gain a box today, would the contents of it be set today or would they be set when you actually open it? Now I have thankfully managed to get an answer to that particular question, but on top of that I've managed to get some exclusive information for the channel as well. Now the information relates to future boxes, and these will be short-term boxes that will be based around events or particular teams. So what we'll do anyway is we will, in the next section of the video, we'll discuss this exclusive information I managed to get hold of, and then at the end of the video we'll discuss what was the original intent, where I'll run over all the changes to the boxes and hopefully clarify any confusion that players have at the moment. But first off, let's see what the exclusive information I was able to find out. So with these new boxes that are tied around actually teams or particular events, so events would be, for example, the Spider-Man movie, which is coming up soon, or even the Thor movie after that. What will happen is you will have specific Marvelous loot boxes that are based on that particular event or a particular team at that point in time. Now the first one that will be released will be with the next patch of the game. So the next patch, I believe, will be on the 30th of this month, when the game actually moves from beta into live status. Now these particular boxes, they will have in the region of round about 10 or so costumes that you can get randomly from the boxes. They will have specific flourishes to that actual team or event as well. Now on top of that, the great thing is any Marvelous essence that you've gained through purchasing our boxes and actually gaining our boxes by playing the game, you can use that same Marvelous essence currency to actually buy costumes from the special team or event boxes, and you can do that on day one. There's no kind of lock there at all. So let's just say the next event that will happen, and it very well could be the case, would be the Spider-Man event. We've got players that are really itching to get Spider-Gwen. When they get their free Marvelous boxes, if they've levelled up so many heroes and they gain enough currency, if they've got enough currency from the regular Marvelous boxes, they can use that to unlock a character from the special event boxes, which really is pretty awesome. Now on top of that, just before we actually discuss the ins and outs of the changes of the original boxes, I will mention as well that I've been made aware that the plan is in future that the costumes will be moved from Moondragon, because there is an awful lot in there and we've got a great new UI for showing off the costumes. So the plan is that costumes will be moved to the actual vendor and you can use your Marvelous essence to purchase them directly from the vendor. So that will be a great change. But with the exclusive information out of the way, which I hope was useful and I hope it's got you excited for the future changes, what we'll do is we'll now discuss the actual changes to the Marvelous boxes for anyone that's still a bit confused in regards to it. So with the changes to these actual loot boxes, the first one, and this is really the most important one of which the loot boxes are now formed round, is that you can no longer purchase costumes directly from the store. Now what happens, in order to purchase costumes, you would purchase them via Moondragon, but as mentioned in time you can get them from the vendor and you would use Marvelous essence. So Marvelous essence you get from the Marvelous loot boxes. Now there are various different ways you can get the boxes. Previously it would be a case of you had to actually purchase them from the store. That was the only way to get them. Now once the patch hits, you will actually get a loot box for your first hero at levels 5, 12, 15 and 30, and then finally at 60. So if you've got one hero at level 60, now this is retroactive and I will emphasise that, if you've got one hero at level 60, when you log on the 30th of June, you'll get 5 of the loot boxes for free. Now for every additional hero after that, currently we have 38 heroes in the game, that you hit level 60 on, you'll gain another Marvellous loot box. So that means in total, if you've got as many as 38 at level 60, if you're that crazy and you've got that many leveled already, I'm not far off it myself, I think I'm on 30, so I'm relatively crazy, then you will be gaining, let's see, it would be 42 boxes, which is a huge amount, should give you a huge amount of Marvellous currency. And as mentioned earlier on as well, you can get all that currency, you'll be getting boosts, you'll be getting costumes, but on top of that, if you choose to hold on to that currency until there's an event, let's say you're a big fan of 4, once the 4 movie comes out, it is likely, I can't guarantee, but it's likely that you'll probably get boxes based around 4. So what you can do is hold on to that Marvellous essence that you managed to get for free, and then when that comes out, you can then choose an actual costume straight away. You don't have to gamble for it, you can simply purchase it outright using your Marvellous essence. Now with the first set of Marvellous boxes and costumes that are available, it's actually 20 different costumes that will be available, so you can't buy costumes out with that. You will only be able to buy ones and get ones randomly in the boxes that are available for that period in time. We're being told that after a few months, or around about that time period, the boxes will rotate, new costumes will come in and old ones will go out. Now this is where the actual information that I originally tried to find out via the developers in regards to the seeding of the boxes and how that works becomes relevant. So the way this works is, let's just say the boxes for example have a list of 10 different items they can potentially give. So when you purchase a box, the roll number is imprinted on that particular box. So let's say you get a box and you've got a choice of 10 different items, then the box would roll on item number 7 regardless of when you opened it. Now what changes is the contents of the box will actually change. So at one period of time, item number 7 may be, let's say it's a Spider-Man costume. Then at a later date, if you were to open that box, the contents would change. You would get the same seeded roll, you would get item number 7 once again, but number 7 in this instance might be a Captain America costume for example. It's quite strange to explain, I hope that did make sense. If it didn't, let me know in the comments below and I can certainly clarify it further, but as mentioned, I hope that is helpful. Now one further thing I'll clarify just before we finish up the video is in regards to the number of boxes you can gain. So as mentioned, at the moment the plan is that you get 5 for your first level 60 and then 1 for each further subsequent level 60 after that. So if we're looking at potentially 1 hero a month, then you would be getting 1 box every time you level that hero up to level 60. Now we have been advised as well that the developers are looking into other ways to actually gain those boxes. One of the options they mentioned is events. It may come through other options as well, it could be achievements. That is purely speculation on my part for the achievements. Don't quote me, but the developers have mentioned events, they have said that much, but everything can be subject to change of course. Now one other thing they're looking into at the moment, no promises on it, but they are looking into whether or not when you prestige, if that would be able to offer a box as well. So we'll hopefully find that out sooner or later. If we do, what I'll even do is I'll put up a tweet on my Twitter account for anyone that maybe doesn't follow the forums and misses the multitude of posts which you get on there, because there's a lot of information and sometimes it's hard to keep track of it, and that's the exact reason I've done this particular video. But I hope this video was useful. It's something different from what you're probably used to with my beginner's guide and cosmic trial videos. If you like this style of video where I can hopefully get hold of some information or news and collate it together, then do let me know and I'll certainly look to do more of this in future. But as always, I'll sign off with my usual. Thanks for tuning in and I'll see you all again soon.